Hey guys, I just thought I'd do a full day of eating, carb load edition. I'm currently on day 2, so I started my carb load yesterday. So I'm currently prepping for a half marathon on Sunday. It's in Carnoustie, it's the Barry Boudin half. So I just thought I'd take you through a full day of what I'm currently eating to help me prepare the best as possible for this race. So when you're carb loading, the purpose of it is just to help maximize your glycogen stores. So when you're doing an endurance event, and if it's typically over 60 minutes, or if it's very demanding, you're gonna have to top up your glycogen stores as much as possible. Just that way you get the absolute most out of your performance. If you're not carb loading and you're doing an event that's quite intense, it's longer duration, you're gonna tap into those glycogen stores a little bit too early, and you're probably not gonna get the most out of your performance. So it's absolutely crucial that you're not only dialing in with your training, but you're dialing in with your nutrition as well. So I'm gonna pop my calorie and macro breakdown for the day, and I'm going to also pop this alongside each meal, that way you can follow along and get some tips along the way. But before we get started and diving right into it, I've got to take some check-in photos for my blitz photo shoot. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Right, that's us done our check-in photos. Now we're going to delve right into the meals. So for meal 1, this is what we've got. So we're going to be having 6 golden pancakes, 3 whole eggs. We're going to be having some golden syrup also on those pancakes as well, just to top up some extra carbs. Now, majority of the fats are going to come in the earlier meals of the day, just because I'm not going to be doing as much movement. That way it gives me a lot more time to digest them and stuff. Typically, in day 2 when I'm carb loading, I pretty much remove all of my veg and stuff, or any things that's going to have higher fiber, just so I can digest my meals a lot easier, especially because carbs is a lot higher on day 2 than it is on day 1. I do up it that little bit more towards the higher end of that 5 to 7 grams per kilogram of body weight. Right, so I'm going to be having 3 poached eggs. If you don't have a poached egg maker, this is exactly how I make them, so that they're that little bit runny and they just look good. So once your water comes to a boil, we're going to turn the heat down. Now, you're probably going to see that I've got something in the water already, and that's just because I dropped an egg on the first take. Not ideal. Only got 4 eggs left, so hopefully I don't ruin this one up. So I'm going to grab the egg and we're going to crack it into the pot. So hopefully I can do it first try. So the main aim here is try and crack it open as close to the water as you can without sieving yourself. Okay, so we're going to do that for all 3 of the eggs. Go. All 3. Okay, so now what I do is I pop a timer on my phone, 3 minutes, and then they're good to go. Okay. Once we're waiting for the eggs to cook, I'm going to just shove my pancakes into the toaster. We're not going to eat them cold and untoasted. It just doesn't taste as good. So we're going to go and toast these bad boys up. Okay, so that's coming up to 3 minutes now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that off the heat. And then I'm just going to use a normal spoon. I do have one of the ones that dispenses the water out, but I can't find it right now, so I'm just going to go with this. So we're going to take these eggs out one at a time, and I'm going to show you that they're a little bit runny. I've just kind of that one. Of course I do when the camera's on. So yeah, we'll be back in a second. I'm also just waiting for my pancakes to toast up. Right, so pancakes are ready. All I'm going to do now is put on some syrup. Now, I track absolutely everything. I leave no stone unturned. So, best way to measure syrups, liquids, oils, any kind of stuff, place the item on the scale, 0 it, take it off, use the amount that you want. So, we're not going to go crazy here. We're just going to do a drizzle onto each one. Then we're going to close it, pop it back onto the scale, and that's going to give us this negative value. You're going to see -9 there. So, what I'm going to do with that, I've already scanned the item onto my FitnessPal, as you're going to see on here. All we're going to do, negate the minus, and I'm just going to pop 9 grams on FitnessPal here. So serving size, 1 gram, and then we're going to pop in 9, and that's going to give me the amount of calories that was in that syrup. Okay, so I'm going to take this meal to my desk, and we're going to go ahead and enjoy it. Right, so meal 1 is here. I'll pop the calorie breakdown and macro breakdown up on the screen right here. And just look at this eggs, guys. Look how perfect these poached eggs are. You can't tell me I'm wrong. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this meal, and I'll see you guys in meal 2. Alright guys, so we're back. It's time for meal 2. I'm going to have protein oats with berries and some dark chocolate. So let's get right into it. So I'm going to be having 70 grams of oats. So we've got 70 grams of rolled oats. I've got around 58 grams of frozen berries, 57 grams. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that onto the hob. Heat up, stir it, mix it well, and I'll be back once it's ready, and we're going to add in my favourite toppings, and of course, some dark chocolate. Right, it's time. So I'm going to take this guy off the heat, and we're going to add in the secret ingredients. Now, I know I've got this hot pan on the scales, but it'll be fine. So I'm going to add in my protein powder. I've got chocolate cookies. It is 100% the best one for oats, hands down. I can eat this every single day and not get bored. So we're going to add in a scoop of protein powder, which is around 35 to 36 grams. So we're going to add that in now. Sometimes I wait for it to cool, but I'm not going to do that right now. So we're at 32 grams. Need a little bit more. Obviously it's on the heat, so the weight is going to go up slightly, so I've got to do this quite quick. That should be fine. So about 38 grams, probably 37 give or take. So what we're going to do now is just stir that all in, and then once it's stirred in, I'll be back and I'll show you the last two things that we're going to put in to make this absolutely top tier. Alright, we're back. So these are the two things I'm going to add in that's going to make this absolutely top tier. So I've got my oats in a tub over a bowl. I prefer eating out of a tub. I'm pretty autistic that way. I'm just going to go ahead and add in some cinnamon. You can't add too much of this, by the way, so just go kind of crazy with it. It's kind of hard to do one-handed. Okay. So I've added in my cinnamon, and I'm just going to top it off by adding a piece of dark chocolate in there. And that's just going to melt in there perfectly. Then I'm going to mix it all up, and I'm going to eat that bad boy up. So I'm going to pop the macros for this meal up here. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy the meal, and I'll see you guys in meal 3. So I'm just getting some steps in, and I thought it'd be useful to talk about what I've been doing this week to ensure I set myself up for success in my taper week. So taper week is basically a week where we draw back volume, drop a little bit off intensity, so that we can fully recover, get ourselves in a position where we're able to optimize our performance as much as possible. So first thing that I've been doing this week is I've dropped my running mileage down from about 50 to 60% of my usual mileage. I've also took a deload in the gym, so I've been doing full body sessions. I'm a big advocate that full body is so much better, especially when you've got an endurance event and whatnot, because the last thing you want to do for most people is batter your legs in the leg session, and it ends up ruining your performance in your kind of runs and whatnot. Now, people do say that you can do double training days where you run first thing in the morning, you can do your lower strength work in the evening, etc. But at this point in time, I don't really have time for that. Okay, if you're a full-time athlete, sure, but for most people, we don't really have time to be doing that. Okay, so I find full body for me works really fucking well. So yeah, I've also been keeping intensity pretty high. I backed off a little bit, so I've been keeping more reps in reserve than I normally would. So I've not been going to true failure, because again, the training's been done by this point. I'm just looking to sharpen things up and keep things where they need to be for the race on the Sunday. So in my runs this week, I did do a interval session. Did it on Wednesday. I did 8 600 meters faster than my race pace. Again, I'm looking to keep intensity high, but I've drawn and scaled back the volume there, and that's what's really, really important. That's absolutely key. Again, today, with it being Friday, I usually take the Friday fully off. Yeah, I'll do some steps and whatnot. I'm still being somewhat active. I'll focus on stretching, mobility, but I don't do anything taxing at all. I just find what works best for me when I have a race that's on Sunday. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a 15 to 20 minute shakeout run, and I'm going to be doing some strides as well, just to sharpen me up, make me feel less sluggish, and get myself primed up and moving, get everything working the way it should be. Nutrition wise, I've been keeping carbs pretty consistent across the week. I always carb load 3 days prior, but again, it depends on the event that you're doing and whatnot. I like to aim for 5 to 7 grams per kilogram of body weight. So that is why I'm aiming for around probably 350 to 400 plus grams of carb intake over those 3 days as much as possible. And to be able to do that, you do need to drop down your protein intake. Otherwise, we're going to end up overeating a lot more than we should be. And then you're definitely going to feel sluggish, you're going to run into digestion issues, and we don't want that on the course on a race day. So that's really important that we alter those macros for there. Also been hydrating well, so making sure I'm drinking plenty of electrolytes, drinking plenty of water. That's going to be absolutely key to make sure that, again, I'm staying hydrated, keeps my performance up, I'm not going to run into any bother with cramps and such. So it's absolutely key that we're drinking plenty. We want to make sure that we're avoiding any big diet changes, and we don't want to be carb loading too much either, because I've done that in the past. We've all made that mistake. Obviously, a carb loading, you think, oh, I get to eat loads of food now, and then you end up going overboards, and you take it a little bit too far, and then come race day, you feel like you're going to shit yourself, and it's not good. Trust me, I've been there. So I always like to aim, especially if it's a half marathon, 5 to 7 grams, like I said earlier, per kilogram of body weight, and that suits most people absolutely fine. If you've got an early race time, say on the Sunday, on the Saturday evening, I like to keep that last meal a little bit lighter on the carb intake. So make sure you get majority of your carbs either first thing or in the afternoon of that day. Don't leave yourself to catch up and you eat far too much later in the evening, and then you'll end up waking up feeling sluggish and not ready to go. That's the last thing that we want there as well. I'm also making sure that I'm prioritizing my sleep. Okay, I want to make sure I'm getting at least 7 to 9 hours, so I'm not only feeling fully recovered, I'm feeling fresh and ready to go as well, because sleep is absolutely huge from a performance standpoint. So you need to be making sure you're prioritizing it as much as you are your training, as much as you are your nutrition. You've got to make it a priority. And most importantly, when the day comes on Sunday, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to smile. I like to race, okay? It's all about having fun. Yeah, I'm actually going to go into it. I'm going to look to try and PB if possible, but if I just complete the race, I'm going to be absolutely happy. But yeah, just wanted to give you some tips on my taper week, and again, I'll see you in the next meal. Alright guys, so we're back. It's time for meal 3, and this is just going to be a little snack, basically, just a wee carb top up. So we've got a marshmallow square bar, opted for marshmallow over chocolate, or chocolate caramel, just because it is a little bit lighter in calories, and that way the majority of it is just coming from the carbs, and that's what we're looking to do here. I'm also going to have alongside it a top of electrolytes. This one I think is apple and blackcurrant. It's just a bulk one. I usually have it first thing in the morning, but I pushed it back and had it a little bit later in today. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and have that meal. I'll pop the macro breakdown for the square bar and that just here, and I'll see you guys in meal 4. We are back. It's time for meal 4. Let me show you what I'm going to have. So for meal 4, guys, we've got 75 grams of pasta. We've got 5% lean beef steak mince. We're going to have about 100 grams of this. Going to be lowering my protein again with every single meal. Just that way we can get the boost of carbs in without my calories going massively over my normal consumption. So I'm going to go ahead and cook the pasta. I'm going to go ahead and cook the mince, and I'll be back once it's finished because I don't want to get my camera dirty. So we've got 3 seasonings added into the mince. We've got ground cumin, we've got some smoked paprika, and we've also got some oregano in there as well. I'm just about to put in my bolognese sauce. Then I'm going to stir this all about, let it simmer for a bit. I'm going to strain the pasta, mix it all in, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so we got meal 4 here. I've tracked it on FitnessPal. I'm going to pop the calorie breakdown for this meal right here. Now all I've got to do, get some pink salt on, and I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this meal. So I think I've got 2 more meals to have today, just to meet my calorie macro goal. So I'll be back for meal 5. Excuse the hair, just back in from the shops. Now, I don't know if anyone's had this before, but recently in the supermarkets, e.g. Lidl, I've not had as much stock, maybe because of shortages, I don't know, whatever it may be. And I didn't want to risk not buying chicken from somewhere else, just in case I didn't have any, because it's the closest shop to me. So I went to Tesco's for our way, got chicken just in case, nipping to Lidl's on the way back because I had to grab something anyway, and they've got the chicken back, so it's looking good. I don't know if anyone's ever had that. You know, supermarkets having all the things that you need when you don't really need them, but all the foods right now, I'm needing them, and they weren't having them lately, and it was a pain in the ass. But yeah, got the goods. I'm away to have meal number 5, I think it is, soon. I'm just going to do some training updates and a couple of setups as well for my clients before we get into that. So see you guys when I have meal 5. Right, so meal number 5, we've got 85 grams of choco hoops. We've got around 160 milliliters of milk. Again, I've tracked it all on my fitness pal. I'm just finishing up some training updates for my clients. Every 8 to 12 weeks, I send them over a training program review, basically asking how satisfied they are with their current program, what they've enjoyed about it, what maybe they haven't enjoyed, what specific exercises they've connected well with, what exercises they maybe not connected well with, what exercises they feel they're progressing well, what exercises they feel they've not progressed as well, any exercises that they dread, maybe want removed, any exercises that they love and they want to keep in. Again, enjoyment in any program is absolutely key for adherence. Moving forward, I asked them if they're able to commit to any more resistance training sessions. Again, they might be doing more just now and they might want to drop down to less. That's absolutely fine. We've got to ask those questions. How long each session can be for them, how long they're currently taking in each session, has any of the gym equipment availability changed, maybe stuff's been out of order for a while, they're not able to get on as much equipment, not as much stuff's available, have they picked up any new aches, injuries or niggles, and then what 1 to 2 muscle groups of their physique would they like to focus on within their next 8 to 12 week training block, and how much variation they like. And then of course, have they taken advantage by sending me over video form check videos. You know, I do 2 a week, technique analysis form reviews on a Wednesday and a Saturday. That way online clients can get the absolute most out of the coaching service. They send me over up to 3 form videos for me to review. I'll send them back over. Video feedback. Again, I can annotate and everything. I can pause it, slow it down in real time. It's really, really useful just to get the absolute most out of the training sessions, because it's all good and well that we're, you know, putting more weight on the bar, lifting more weight, but if we're not moving that well, then have we actually progressed? Probably not. So I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this meal before my cereal gets soggy, and I'll see you guys for meal 6. So we're going to be having meal number 6. We're going to be having 100 grams of chicken breasts, and we're going to be having 75 grams of white rice. No veg again, because we're trying to reduce fibre as much as possible. The aim is just to get as much carbs in as we can. So I'll be back once it's ready. Alright, so meal 6 is ready. I'm going to go and eat this. I'm going to pop the macro breakdown right here. I'll be back after a bit and I'm going to give you a full calorie breakdown of all my meals for the day. Okay, so this is the following day. I've just done my final run before my half marathon tomorrow. I did a 4K shakeout run with 4 20-second strides just to prime my body up, get everything moving the way it should be. It's feeling pretty good. I'll pop the run that I just done up here. And I hope you guys enjoyed that full day of eating yesterday. That was day 2 of my carb load. This is the final day of my carb loads. Please drop me a follow if you haven't already, and stay tuned for more videos like this. I'm hoping to drop a lot more very, very soon.